¿Están listos para la diversión? No olviden dejar su like. ¡Comencemos con el stream! Hola a todos, bienvenidos de nuevo. Hoy vamos a jugar algo muy especial. ¿Están listos para la diversión? No olviden dejar su like. ¡Comencemos con el stream! Hola a todos, bienvenidos de nuevo. Hoy vamos a jugar algo muy especial. ¿Están listos para la diversión? No olviden dejar su like. ¡Comencemos con el stream! Hola a todos, bienvenidos de nuevo. Hoy vamos a jugar algo muy especial. ¿Están listos para la diversión? No olviden dejar su like. Comencemos con el stream. Hola a todos, bienvenidos de nuevo.
The Ravens will be wearing an O.J. Brigant sticker on the back of their helmet for the remainder of the 2026 season, paying homage to him and what he meant to this community and to this franchise. And one thing that O.J. always loved was watching the Baltimore Ravens compete at a high level, and we'll get a chance to do that today. The Vikings won the toss. They they elect to receive the opening kickoff, so Tyler Loop sends it away to get us underway here in Minneapolis. Dylan Bell is on the return. He goes up the right sideline. A nice return to about the 35-yard line. Multiple penalty markers down. And it is going against the Minnesota Vikings. Let's hear the call from referee Alex Kemp.
Holding, receiving team number 81. 10-yard penalty, first down Vikings.
Let's go down to Evan Washburn down on the sideline.
Well, Kyle, not many question marks surrounding this Ravens roster, except maybe that center position. There's been a competition between Danny Pinter and Ethan Posick. Well, that took a hit this week. Danny Pinter is suffering a knee injury during these joint practices, so he's going to be on the shelf for a while. So Javon Gwynn steps in, and he will now compete with Ethan Posick. Reminder, Posick suffered that Achilles tear in December of last year. He's available, but still working his way back. Gwynn, fourth-year pro, never started an NFL game. That's a critical competition to watch in this one.
And, of course, they will start on the defensive side of the football, so we'll see who starts at center when the Ravens get the ball next. It is J.J. McCarthy at quarterback. He steps back into the pocket, delivers right, and misses Miles Price on the out route, bringing up second down. J.J. McCarthy, of course, the third-year man out of Michigan and a national champion in 2023 with Jesse Minter on the defensive side of the football for that Wolverine squad, originally out of Evanston, Illinois. And the starting running back for Minnesota, Devon Claiborne. They are starting with the penalty yardage after the opening kickoff from their own 12-yard line. Second down and 10, man in motion. It's the tailback. And now out of the I formation, couple receivers to both sides. And lots of movement. Nobody moved on the offensive line. Nearly every skill player jumped for Minnesota.
Yeah, and that's one thing that the coach...
Start. Offense number 66. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
That's Kevin McConnell does not want to see any pre-snap penalties at home when the crowd is silent.
Now they back up to their own 7-yard line. Zion Young, John Jenkins, Washington, Green, the defensive line for the Ravens, along with Martin, Higgins, DeLuca, and Tampa in the second level. Looking left, McCarthy completes a pass to the outside. It's Ty Felton, the Maryland Terrapin product, former third-round pick. Picks up about 7, gets past the original line of scrimmage, but it's still third and medium.
Yeah, Cornet did a really good job of just understanding the situational football. There's a quick 5-yard route, going out there and make the tackle on the sideline.
Sets up third down and 7, about half the yardage needed there. The line to gain is the 22-yard line. 3 receivers to the right, including a tight end in tight for Minnesota. No score with 14:20 left in the first. Opening drive for the Vikings. McCarthy with time to throw. Looks right. It is complete past the marker. And TJ Tampa believes the ball hit the ground. He is pointing to the turf here at US Bank Stadium. The completion was made to Miles Price, says the official.
Yeah, TJ Tampa peeled off the outside receiver who went vertical. And if he came a little bit earlier, he had an opportunity. That ball did not hit the ground.
And elbow hit the ground first for Price.
Yeah, so he was down.
So it is a first down, despite second down and 15. Jesse Minter and company, what they wanted to see on their opening drive after a phenomenal start against Philadelphia in preseason week 1. Man in motion from left to right is Jay-Sean Jones. They hand it to Claiborne. Claiborne stopped at the line of scrimmage. Good job at the second level. It was Wallace in on the stop for Baltimore.
Yeah, it is hard to move this defensive front for the Baltimore Ravens. They have done a tremendous job of disengaging, and the backers are coming and flying off of them and making the plays these last 2 weeks consistently.
And Kayvon Wallace, the safety out of Clemson, actually had a pick 6 in Thursday's practice against the Vikings. Joint practice on Wednesday and Thursday for Minnesota and Baltimore. And he comes in to make the stop for no gain. Second down and 10. The Vikings 23-yard line. Another give to Claiborne, and here comes Dominic DeLuca off the second level, and he flattens Claiborne for a huge loss.
That was a really good play by DeLuca. Good read. Not letting any color detour him from getting vertical. And then when you get vertical in the run game, that's when you cause a lot of havoc to the offense.
This is a Vikings team that invested heavily in the offseason to try and up their ground game. They ran the ball effectively in practice, but they have not so far. Third down and 13 after back-to-back stops for the Ravens. Looking left, it's a screen play to the outside, complete to Ty Felton. He sheds a tackler, works up to about the 27-yard line, and he's taken down in pursuit by Mike Green and Kayvon Wallace. And it's the first fourth down. Here comes the punt team for the Vikings.
They did their job. They got him in 3rd and long. Tackled the ball in that little, what we call, so like a tunnel screen, coming back inside of that and going out in space and making the tackle.
Good stuff to rebound after maybe a disappointing first down to allow after it was 2nd and 15. A couple straight completions from J.J. McCarthy moved the chains. Back to receive is LeJontay Wester. He's at his own 20. It is a booming kick. He reels it in at the 21. Goes up the right sideline, 30, 35, and then drives. A tackler stays on his feet but steps out of bounds. It looked like a moment he could have gotten there. It was the punter making the tackle. We'll see the Ravens on offense for the first time when we come back.
Surprising Raven facts. Ravens remember
is brought to you by Constellation, the Baltimore Ravens official clean energy provider. By M&T Bank, the official bank of your Baltimore Ravens. And by MedStar Health, the trusted medical team.
His final year at Penn State. Now the first-round player was tested with that different look. Ingram Dawkins was working right up the middle. And Venga had a hold of him on that right arm, backing up the offense to make it 2nd and 20. Back to throw. Huntley again. Pressure off the right side. It's picked up nicely by Jonathan Ward. Now Huntley escapes right. Again looking to scramble, and he gets past the line of scrimmage, but not by much. Again, it's Tyrion Ingram Dawkins. It felt like the protection held up that time, Rob.
The protection was solid. I think when he released, as I'm talking about Huntley, when he got out of the pocket, he should have went to the left side. If he could have turned around and went left, there was nobody on that side. He went right, and once he gets out of the pocket, he's looking down the field. He's protecting the football. He's not throwing it in harm's way. He got as much yardage as he could get with his feet.
Offensive line at the moment from left to right. Vincent, Voorhees, Gwynn, Ioane, and then on the right side, it's Lichtenheim, the 5 starting offensive linemen for the Ravens. 3rd down and long. Huntley back to throw. Has time to throw this time. Pressure up the middle again. Huntley shakes off a possible sack. Pump fakes, looks left. Now runs up the right hash mark, but only picks up a couple. It is 4th down for the Ravens. Ivan Pace, the 4th-year man out of Cincinnati, had some pressure, and Huntley had nowhere to go.
Yeah, you saw the linebackers mugging, so anytime you see the linebackers come up to the line of scrimmage, closer to the line, that's called mugging, and then they're going to drop some defensive ends and defensive tackles, so it's those fire zone kind of concept, if people understand who Dick LeBeau was. Very similar to what Flores loved to do. A lot of exotic different looks is going to be really helpful for this team moving forward, talking about the Ravens offense.
Jay-Sean Jones back to receive this punt, as it is away off of the leg of the rookie Ryan Eckley. Big kick, but there was some interference. A Raven runs into Jones as he was getting ready to receive the kick. It's Keandre Jackson, and that's going to be some extra penalty yardage for this Baltimore squad.
Yeah, you just got to have understanding where you're at, the situational football, making sure you let the returner go to the ball.
Fair catch interference, kicking team number 39. 15-yard penalty, first down, timeout.
Both defenses holding on the opening possession. No score from Minneapolis.
Football.
Lots of excitement on what the defensive edge rushers are going to be this season. You take a look at Trey Hendrickson and what he brings as a veteran among some young faces like Mike Green, Zion Young, who we're going to see in this matchup. And Rod, there are some defensive goals there they are trying to achieve under defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is 11 guys running to the ball because Everett does not take a lot of talent. Pre-snap disguise. That last week was outstanding. Continue to add to that. And then pre-snap, post-snap communication in a hostile environment. It won't be overly loud because the offense for the Minnesota Vikings will be on the field, but at least they need to have to learn to communicate with their hand signals and talking through the defense as receivers move in motion.
We won't see any Green or Young on this opening play, the starting edge rushers for this drive, as Minnesota takes over at their own 37-yard line are Ethan Burke and Adisa Isaac. Three-man front in the middle with Jenkins, Washington, and Peebles as J.J. McCarthy goes under center. Second offensive drive for Minnesota. A turn and a toss to Claiborne. Claiborne right side, or left side rather, and he goes nowhere. Ravens do a nice job of setting the edge. That was the combination of Washington and Isaac in on the stop. They've done a good job of stopping the run through the first two offensive possessions for Minnesota.
Yeah, when you have defensive tackles 6'2", 315, 320, it's hard to move those guys and those masses.
Back to throw is McCarthy. Pressure from Peebles. He shakes it off and now wants the deep ball. Looking right side. Going up the good is Ty Felton, and he brings it down. In coverage with Silas Waters. Probably the biggest play that Anthony Weaver's defense has allowed so far this preseason.
Yeah, Silas Waters just has a scramble. He goes on the 7-up and he goes down, and he has to make sure he's upfield shoulder. Don't panic. As he's in position right there, if he can get his head around a little sooner, he can see the ball is going to be short, so he can readjust himself to make the play on the ball.
Felton from Ashburn, Virginia, went to Maryland. 2024 with the Terps had 96 catches, a single season Maryland program record. He had 25 yards on 3 receptions last year, and he picks up 66 on this one play here in the red zone for the first time. Vikings look left. It's a completion to the tailback, Claiborne, who works up inside the 5-yard line. He is knocked out of bounds by Higgins, and it is first and goal for Minnesota. 7:13 left here in the first.
Yeah, they got to rally a little bit sooner when that little swing pass, a swing screen to the running back. In the red zone, each yard becomes more valuable than out in the middle of the field.
And correction, it's second and goal from the 3-yard line. Under center again, McCarthy with Claiborne straight behind. Puts the tight end in motion. They fake it to Claiborne. McCarthy looking left, has pressure to that side. Overshoots Ty Felton in the back of the end zone. Kayvon Wallace was underneath in coverage. McCarthy had to put it high.
Yeah, Wallace is chasing. That's a really tough pass, but if they can do it, if JJ can just put a little air under it, it gives an opportunity for the receiver to adjust to it. But having the helmets for the Baltimore Ravens find the JJ in his eyes where they can go is going to make it more difficult to be in the red zone and throw the ball into an open area.
Now third down and goal from the 3-yard line. Price is to the right-hand side along with Jayshon Jones. Ty Felton to the top of the formation. They give it to Claiborne. Claiborne stood up at the line of scrimmage. Maybe fell forward for one. Again, it was Dominic DeLuca that got in there first.
And I think running it on third down tells me they're going to go for it on 4.
Here's a look at the pressure. Good job by Washington. Got around his block in the back.
They made that contact a yard in the backfield.
And here is the Vikings offense on 4th down and goal, giving an early opportunity for a Ravens goal line stand. First quarter, 6 minutes and counting left to play. No score here in Minneapolis. Out of the shotgun. Motion one receiver to the right. McCarthy looking right, lobs it back in zone, and he overthrew Miles Price.
This is the same route they ran in their matchup in practice.
A turnover on downs and a goal line stand for the Ravens as they get the ball back.
The York.
Ravens fans, visit BaltimoreRavens.com to enter for a chance to become the Southwest Airlines captain of the game. You could win tickets to a 2026 Ravens home game, a custom jersey, Southwest Airlines Rapid Rewards points, and so much more. Once again, enter online at BaltimoreRavens.com. Rod, take me through this fourth down stand for Baltimore and a missed throw from McCarthy.
Yeah, they're just running an in and out or a top hat. And then Tampa should be outside shade, and then he should bump out with him. But if they stay locked and then they try to match it up at the end, you cannot do that.
So maybe a mistake in coverage, but a bigger mistake by McCarthy to miss a wide open Miles Price.
Yes.
That would have easily been a touchdown. Instead, Baltimore takes over from inside their own 5-yard line. They turn and give to Jonathan Ward, and Ward is stacked up immediately. The first-round pick out of Florida, Caleb Banks, with the tackle for loss.
Oh, I would love to see them taking a shot on that first play, backed up, take a shot, because you know Flores is aggressive. As a play caller, you know that's in him. So taking those shots and seeing if those corners can handle our receivers and the speed outside.
Banks, who had just one tackle for loss last year, battled injuries in his last year at Florida, but he comes in at 6'6", 330, going up against Jonathan Ward on the run game. Second and 10. Huntley in the end zone, looking right, pressured, had to get it away. He does just in the nick of time to avoid a safety, but throws it low to Josh Cuevas, bringing up an early third down.
Yeah, all those exotic looks is really good for the Ravens offense because they're bringing pressure again. Getting Huntley to flush out of there. He did have Jacoby Lane. He was outside, running the outside route. He was open initially. But I tell you, when you get that pressure, you got to get out of the pocket. And it's hard to find that guy down the field.
5:15 left in the first, and it might be a preseason game, but US Bank Stadium starting to pick up the volume a bit. Looking for another third down stop. It's Huntley out of the shotgun. Ward to his right. Time to throw here. Throws it in. A tight window. Knocked away and incomplete. The intended target was DeJounte Wester, and it was Armstead in coverage.
Yeah, they tried to run a double follow, as we call it. Jacoby Lane went over, and then Wester was the inside and came out to the flat and back inside on an angle route. And the Minnesota Vikings defense did a tremendous job of coverage.
So now we'll get to see Ryan Eckley backed into his own end zone. His back heel maybe a foot off of the white stripe as they look to punt it away. A couple men back for Minnesota, including Ty Felton, who's standing at his own 44-yard line. It is a spiraling kick, a booming kick, backing Felton all the way up to the 38. Backed him up 10 yards, and now here comes the pursuit. One man whiffs, and then he's taken down just short of the 50-yard line. Great starting field position for the Vikings, but still no score with 5 left in the first.
Here that I've been associated with the NFL, there's a guy in the first preseason game that, you know, you might not have real high expectations for, and then they go out in the game and play at a different level than maybe they practiced. And then sometimes it's vice versa. Sometimes the lights come on, and so that's what you want to see. You want to see guys take advantage of the opportunity, make plays.
Of course, there were plenty of examples that Jesse Minter is talking about in that first preseason win for Baltimore, 24-7. But Rod, so far in this game, it feels like the table is set for somebody to step up and make a play.
Yeah, they got great opportunities offensively. Got to take some shots down the field when they're giving you some pressure looks, because you're going to have some one-on-ones outside. You got to believe in your receivers and make those type of plays down the field. And defensively, they got to make plays. You got to get some pressure on the quarterback. You can't let him sit in the pocket and be comfortable inside that pocket.
Vikings taking over at their own 49-yard line. Best starting field position so far for J.J. McCarthy and company. Fresh off of a goal line stand by the Ravens defense, and then a 3-and-out from the Ravens offense. Running back is Claiborne, straight behind the line of scrimmage. The receivers are Price, Felton, and Smith. Jones on the left side. They give it to Claiborne. Gets past the 50-yard line, but not much more. Again, DeLuca on the stop off the second level, who's been very active here in this opening frame.
Yeah, DeLuca, Okoye, both those guys they've done a tremendous job on the run game, putting them in second and long, giving Jesse a really good idea of what he wants to call on defense.
Olajiga along with Okoye, Green and Young on that line of scrimmage. Rivers in the formation at corner. Shotgun, fake toss right. McCarthy taken down from behind. It's Mike Green for his first sack of the preseason.
I thought Mike Green was going to start doing the dog walk. I thought he was going to do it, but I tell you what, you want to see that speed, dipping that inside shoulder, getting behind the quarterback, and not allowing the quarterback to have over 3 seconds to throw the football.
He got around the fourth-year man out of Princeton, Henry Bird. A sack brings up a loss of 4 and a third down and 14. Under 4 minutes to play in the opening frame. No score between the Vikings and Ravens. McCarthy again, pressure, got hit as he threw it, but there's an open man deep downfield. 35-yard line. Jayshon Jones has to go to the ground to grab it, but he was wide open, and there's a penalty marker in the backfield.
Offense number 68, 10-yard penalty, still third down.
And I believe it was Green again, Rod, who got in the backfield and forces the holding call.
That quick first step, he's learning to dip that inside shoulder. Oh no, he moved back inside, so he got a two-step dip back inside. He had to grab cloth to get him on the ground.
Wow.
And that pass is what we call a dagger. The seam runner is going all the way up the field, and that outside receiver is going about 15 to 20 to the first down marker and running a deep crosser.
Mike Green has been a one-man wrecking crew on back-to-back plays.
Yeah.
Against the undrafted man out of Princeton. The penalty saving a big gain. That is a huge flip of momentum for the offense for Minnesota. It's now third down and 24 with 3.5 left in the first. The ball spotted at the Minnesota 35-yard line. One running back, couple receivers. They turn it on the draw. It's Claiborne up the middle. Picks up decent yardage, but nowhere near the original line of scrimmage. It's fourth down and long, and here comes the punt team for the Vikings.
Yeah, and anytime you see third and long, you're always yelling out, screen and draw, screen and draw. It's something that's very simple for the offense, and it doesn't put a lot of pressure on the quarterback.
What a job by Mike Green and that defensive front, led by Jesse Minter as the play caller. And when we talked earlier this week with defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver, he expressed excitement about Zion Young and Mike Green, about what each of those guys can bring. And certainly you saw it on that drive. The kick is away. It's an end-over-end punt. Waving for the fair catch at the 13-yard line is LaJonte Wester. And of course, going back to the opening kickoff, Evan Washburn talked about the new battle at center. Here's the starting offensive line as it stands right now, but there is still a lot to sort through for this entire group, especially at the center position. Jovan Gwynn steps in for Danny Pinter, who's out for a significant time.
And I know Posek, if he's healthy, I believe he could be the starter because he has those reps under his belt, and he's been there before.
He is at center here. Posek expected to play some significant snaps in this game. It's Tyler Huntley again behind center. McMillan picks up the pressure straight up the middle, and now Huntley escapes to his left. Pump fakes, gets past the original line, and then steps out of bounds after a gain of about 5 on first down. That was Chaz Chambliss who came up the middle with the pressure, and actually nice job initially by Dante McMillan to give a little time for Huntley to get away.
Yeah, and you know, Huntley's doing a really good job. Right now, he feels the pressure coming from the interior, so it's making him flush out of the pocket.
As Brian Flores led defense with some exotic looks. Back to the New York Giants last week en route to a preseason Week 1 win for Minnesota as well. Under center now, Huntley. McMillan in the backfield. They toss it to him right. Breaks back left on the cutback lane. Nowhere to go. That was Big Citrus on the stop. Dominic Orange with his first tackle, and McMillan stopped at the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 5 incoming.
Yeah, that time the Ravens were in 13 personnel, which is 3 tight ends, 1 running back, 1 receiver. Ran that toss route to the tight end side where they had all 3 tight ends lined up on trips. Just couldn't find that open hole.
It was Tyler Badian on the stop as well. 3rd and 6 officially from the 17-yard line. Receivers out left, including a couple tight ends, both Cuevas and Hibner in the formation. Huntley steps up into the pocket, looks right, comeback route for Jacoby Lane. A little bit of hand fighting, but not enough to draw a penalty as the ball goes incomplete. 4th down for the Ravens.
Yeah, they got into that mug look again, talking about the Minnesota Vikings defense. They mugged it again. This time they didn't bring pressure. They just played a true soft zone. It's really hard to find an open receiver out there right now.
And the ball coming back from Lane, just out of reach. Now Trayvon Rudolph stands at the 30-yard line to reel in another punt after another 3-and-out for the Ravens offense. Another booming kick from Eckley, who's been tremendous today. Backs up the aforementioned return man down to the 20-yard line. He goes into the pile, now breaks out of it right side 40, 45, and he's pushed out right there at the 45-yard line. Good return by Trayvon Rudolph. Not the best starting field position for Minnesota here in this first quarter, but 1:11 left to play and no score. The defense will trot back out for the Ravens.
A little shifty. Going inside, gets back outside. Hard to find a guy that's about 5'9"-ish, 185 pounds. Shifty little guy getting back outside.
And this defense now with a chance to keep that momentum rolling. They've been fantastic outside of the one stop and the one drive that led to the goal line. The defense stood with a McCarthy overthrow that would have been a touchdown. But outside of that, the defense has been the star again. 4-man front for Baltimore. They turn and give to Claiborne, who's been busy so far. Picks up maybe 3 on the opening play of the drive.
Yeah, they're doing a tremendous job on first down, talking about the Baltimore Ravens defense, not allowing the Minnesota Vikings offense to be ahead of schedule. And ahead of schedule means you're going to get 3.5 yards per snap. And if you can do that on first down and put your second down play calling a little bit easier for the offense coordinator.
Yeah, so far, Damon Claiborne, running back for Minnesota, 7 carries, just 16 yards. It's less than 2.5 per tote. Stays in the backfield, and there are some penalty markers up front.
False start, offense number 13, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Yeah, this time's on the outside. It's Ty Felton.
No, that's definitely a no-no. The receiver away from the ball is moving on cadence. You shouldn't be listening to the cadence. You got to be looking at the ball.
Of course, the Hall of Fame cornerback is quick to point out the mistakes from the receivers.
Absolutely.
I could sense a little.
Since they're, I think the DBs are the best athletes.
Exactly.
On planet Earth.
Best ones on the planet. I like it. Never change, Rod Woodson. Never change.
No.
Second down and 13 from the 42-yard line. Should be the last play of the opening frame. Out of the shotgun, it's McCarthy. Claiborne to his left. He looks left initially. Now pressure up the middle from Ethan Burke. He got it away into some coverage, and Burke flattens J.J. McCarthy on the pressure. Ball falls incomplete, and there will be one more play in the first with 4 seconds remaining.
Now, you really like to see back in secondary, didn't allow a guy to get open. They ran that same similar play on the deep ball on the third down when they got it, and they had the penalty. But Burke getting to pressure on the quarterback. The pressure or the coverage helps the rush, and the rush helps the pressure.
Third down and 13. McCarthy back to throw again. Pressure. This time he gets sandwiched, but he throws a dime over the middle. It's broken up. Left side, it was Chandler Rivers that got a hand in there to break up the pass to Miles Price. It was a phenomenal throw from J.J. McCarthy, but 4th down will start the second. No score, a defensive battle between the Ravens and the Vikings after 1.
It's Toyota's national sales event.
Vikings quarterback J.J. McCarthy under siege over the last 2 plays of the first quarter. He gets pressured twice and took a hit both times, Rob.
Yeah, Burke did a tremendous job of coming in, running a nice little game on the outside, just pushing the guy back. Peoples does the same thing. I mean, they're getting after him, making him feel the pressure, and you can see him wincing a little bit on the sideline. He's gotten hit a couple times in the ribs.
Yeah, a little slow to get off. We switch sides now. The Baltimore Ravens going from left to right. Fair catch signaled by Wester. He's inside the 10-yard line, and that is where the Ravens will take over. Of course, Tyler Huntley played the entire first quarter. When we asked Jesse Minter pregame, said 2 or 3 series is what we would see from Tyler Huntley, but not the case. He's back out to start the second quarter of action, and part of that might be because of how well the Vikings have played defensively. 14 offensive yards for the Ravens in the first quarter compared to 25 penalty yards. Not necessarily the ratio you want to see through one quarter of action.
Listen, when you're playing against Brian Flores' type defense, it's an exotic look, and it gives a lot of individuals a lot of issues.
Now a little play action.
Bootleg.
Dumps it off to Josh Cuevas in the flat, who turns upfield. That's the biggest play from scrimmage so far by the Ravens. Nicely done off of the misdirect and a completion.
And that's really the first misdirection that we've seen so far from the Baltimore Ravens offense. And when you play against those exotic defenses, misdirections hurt them because a lot of guys are moving at the snap, and you can always get a guy kind of lost in space.
More yardage on that one completion, the first completion, by the way, for the Ravens in this one, than they had in the entire first quarter. Now they give it outside to Jonathan Ward, who tries to turn upfield outside the numbers, but he gets back to the original line. 2nd and 10 on the way.
Yeah, I just like to see Huntley give an opportunity to the receivers on the outside when he sees man-to-man coverage, giving those guys an opportunity to maybe catch a long ball, to see if they can take the top off the defense and make them loosen up a little bit.
Have to respect the run, and so far nothing has been successful for the Ravens offense, but this is their best looking drive so far. From the 32-yard line, 2nd and 10. Turn and give. Ward has some room up front and picks up good yardage on 2nd down. Closing in on the 40-yard line, setting up 3rd and short.
That was just an inside zone run. Ward found the opening, got vertical. That's what you want. You want your running back to see the hole, put his foot in the ground, and to get vertical.
Shortest 3rd down opportunity today for the Ravens offense. They are 0 for 3 to this point, but they only have 3 yards to gain. Lane, Walker, and Wester are the receivers to the right side of the formation. Cuevas out wide to the left. Tailback is Ward. Huntley with time dumps it underneath to Wester. He holds on and has the 1st down, a gain of 5. They only needed 3.
Yeah, that was a really good route combination against a good disguise by the Minnesota Vikings, because they showed that single high coverage. They went into cover 4 and finding that opening, and Huntley did a great job delivering the ball that's very catchable.
So far, so good on this possession. A couple of 1st downs, closing in on midfield with the ball at the 44. Just under 12 and a half left in the second. No score between the Ravens and the Vikings. 2nd quarter of action. Under center, heavy package in now for Baltimore. Play action. Huntley over the middle, has an open man, and Josh Cuevas at the 40, and the rookie tight end has another big game.
Oh, that's a really good. That was a 7 cut by the tight end. A 7 cut is going about 15 yards up the field and to the sideline. They kind of layered that side, and it was a really good throw by Huntley.
Cuevas, during his time with the Crimson Tide at Alabama, was mostly a blocking first tight end, but Declan Doyle feels like they can unlock a little receiving ability. Had 1 catch last week. He has 2 on this drive alone. Handoff. This time it's Elijah Tolliver, his 1st carry of the afternoon, and there are a couple markers as he turns up at the line of scrimmage and picks up 2. This one might be coming back. Indications are it's against the Ravens.
Holding. Offense number 78. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
Jared Lichtenham, Oregon State product, 6'8", 330, the big man on the right side. You're not going to hide from many penalties when you're 6'8".
But the way you can hold is don't have your hands outside the shoulder pads. If you can get in close and you get that interior grab, normally the refs can't see that.
First and 20 now with the holding penalty. Ball right at midfield. Huntley fakes the toss left. Now it's a running back screen to Toliver. Some blockers out in front. 45-40. And Golday, the rookie linebacker, trips up Toliver after a nice gain on 1st and long.
Yeah, that's a really good. We call that a little slip screen, like he's going to go down and block. He slips right off the interior defensive line tackle coming in. And now he just goes makes a play with his feet.
Toliver a little shaken up on the play as he goes to the sideline. It's a running back room that the Ravens really like, even with the depth. Guys like Adam Randall saw some action last week, but they do have some injuries. Rasheen Ali has been out for practice a couple different times as well. Underneath completion, there's Jacoby Lane at the 35-yard line. Spins up close to the marker. It'll be just shy of 3rd and 2 with 10.5 to play in the second.
Yeah, that was a really good catch by Jacoby Lane. The ball was behind him. As soon as he put his foot in the ground, that ball is coming, and he catches it all hands. He has great concentration. He keeps irritating that this guy, he has a 10.5 inch hands, so he can catch the ball with his hands, and he's fearless across the middle.
Stays in the formation, man-to-man to the outside on the left side of the formation. 3rd down and short. Toss back to Dante McMillan. He's sandwiched in between a couple of Vikings defenders. He's about half a yard shy of the marker. And the kicking unit is on. Here comes Tyler Loop to try and break the scoreless tie.
Yeah, anytime you face a fast-flowing defense, which Brian Flores' defenses are like that, misdirections always can hurt them just for the fact they're seeing the ball and they're going to get the ball.
So first opportunity for Tyler Loop. It's off the right hash mark. Kicking into the closed end of the stadium here at US Bank. This one from right at 49 yards. This one is up and right down the middle. Tyler Loop puts the Ravens on the board first, 3-0 with 9:17 to play in the second, and he looks happy with that attempt.
Yeah, that's a really good kick by Tyler Loop.
Jesse Mentor's Ravens on the board first. 9 plays, 60 yards, and a 49-yard Tyler Loop field goal right down the middle. Have the Ravens up 3-0 over the Vikings in preseason week number 2. Tyler Huntley impressive on that one drive, but he found Josh Cuevas a couple times. 2 receptions for 40 yards on the scoring drive.
Yeah, and Josh Cuevas has done a great job of trusting or building the trust with the quarterbacks that are out there, saying, hey, you throw the ball my direction, I got the hands, I got the belief that I can go out there and catch it and make some plays for you.
A West Coast guy out of Burbank, California, played at Cal Poly for a couple of years, then Washington, and then ended up with Kalen DeBoer, followed him from Washington to Alabama. Claiborne on the return, he goes nowhere. Almost immediately after the kick was received, he was tracked down by Keandre Jackson. Jackson flying in, making a nice play on special teams, and the Vikings will start their second drive of the frame from the 20-yard line. And no more J.J. McCarthy, who was shaken up a little bit going off to the sideline to end the first quarter. It's Carson Wentz in at quarterback, and looks like the Minnesota faithful likes that as they announce it in stadium here at US Bank.
Yeah, Carson's a 11-year vet.
He's had a lot of success, some ups and downs throughout his time in the NFL. Turns and gives. First carry that we've seen from Xavier Scott in the game, but Carson Wentz did play quite a bit last year for this Minnesota squad, and relief of McCarthy and a couple of the other quarterbacks on the roster. Of course, Kyler Murray was named the starter for this Vikings bunch going into the year by head coach Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah, but Carson Wentz, I mean, 6'5", 235, big physical guy that can throw the ball down the field. He can really spin the football when he gets going.
Hey, 12th year in the league now after being second overall pick back in 2016. They fake it on the play action, throw right, overthrows the target. Deontay Fleming, a Tulane wide receiver, was blanketed by TJ Tampa, and the throw goes high.
Yeah, that's a really good job by TJ Tampa by squeezing the outside in, getting the ball, getting your hands on that ball when it's coming in. And I mean, we talked about Carson Wentz can throw the football. He can spin the football. That ball came shooting out of there on that slant.
Fleming wears the number 19 in the Vikings uniform. I'm not going to lie, it took me a second to not call him Adam Thielen. He made that number famous here in Minnesota.
Yes, he did.
Fleming, a great player out of the Green Wave in the American Athletic Conference. Out of the shotgun. 3rd down and 7. Wentz looks to his left, has a man. It's right at the marker. Immediately tackled by Kone, but it's Bell on the reception, and it's enough to move the chains.
Yeah, Dylan Bell, free agent from Georgia, ran a little stop route. But you seen the arm strength by Wentz.
Well, the quarterback had the ball in the pocket, illegal contact. Defense number 27, penalties declined. The result of the play is a 1st down for Minnesota.
So Tampa called for the illegal contact, but it does not factor into the penalty yardage. 2nd, 3rd down conversion for the Vikings today. They did so from 3rd down and 7 each time. Now the ball at the 32-yard line, 3-0 Baltimore on top. Alongside Rod Woodson with Evan Washburn down on the sideline. I'm Kyle Yeomans. 8 minutes left to play here in the 2nd. Carson Wentz out of the shotgun. Scott is the tailback to his right. 3 receivers to the left. Now they dump it off to Scott after some early pressure. Wentz got it out in time. And it's positive yardage for the Vikings. A pickup of 8 before Jay Higgins chops down the tailback.
I think it's really good for these young defensive players on the Baltimore Ravens side to play against an older player like Carson Wentz, who's been through the seasons in the National Football League.
Wentz checks at the line of scrimmage, stacked receivers to the left. They hand it off on 2nd down and short, and nearly fumble the football. He holds on to it. There is a penalty marker down. Xavier Scott nearly put it on the ground.
Holding, offense number 65, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And the center, Michael Juergens, is the guilty party, backing up the Minnesota Vikings either way. That could have been double disaster for Minnesota.
And you know, when they off the line is getting holding calls against the run, that means the interior front is disengaging, getting to the ball, and they're trying to keep them to pull them back from that, so you can't make that tackle in the backfield.
It was Keandre Jackson who made contact with the football and jarred it loose. It was bobbled initially by Scott, who had just 2 carries for 6 yards last week. He's been pretty good so far. The 27-year-old out of Fort Hood, Texas. Grew up in a military family down in the Super Syntax region, as they call it. Wentz, chest high snap, looks left. It's another completion to Dylan Bell. The rookie out of Georgia has been active, and he picks up another 1st down.
Yeah, that's just an easy 5-yard route. Carson Wentz took 1 step and just let the ball go.
Going up against Bilal Kone.
And I think it's very valuable for these young players to see a guy like Carson Wentz at the quarterback position, because he is a seasonal vet. So they got a really good feel for what guys can do in the National Football League.
Now at the 44-yard line, a couple of 1st downs already on the drive. Turn and give to Scott. Scott trying to bounce outside. Good job by Silas Waters to track him down and push him out of bounds. Still a gain of 5 on 1st down, and that's exactly what has had Minnesota successful in the game, is when they're able to push and play in front of those chains. That hasn't always been easy, though, against this Ravens defense.
It has not been to date, but Carson's coming in. The tempo seems a little faster coming in and out of the huddle, and I think this is good for the young players for the Ravens defense, just to see a player like Carson Wentz and what he brings to the offensive side of it.
2nd down and 5. 5:55 left in the 2nd quarter. Same two in the backfield, three receivers right. Wentz completes it out wide to Bell. Bell with a blocker in front. Gets taken down right at the marker, and it is enough for a new first down. Let's go down and check in with Evan Washburn, who's with special guest Derrick Henry.
Thank you, Kyle. Derrick, appreciate the time. Your work was put in this week in these joint practices. What'd you guys take away from the opportunity to go up against this defense and practice for a couple days?
Yeah, this is an opportunity to get better. Go against a different defense other than ours for the last couple of weeks. They do a lot of variations of different stuff, so it was good to see where we were as far as protection and our rules and what we run. It's just us, and like I said, that's a good defense, and it was some good work this week.
What do you like about what Declan Doyle's offense does for you in this run?
I mean, Declan has a standard that he wants to play, and he holds us to that every single day, and we just got to go out there and execute, and play as a whole. But you know, as far as running backs, we're just trying to take advantage of our opportunities when they come, and get the most out of plays when they're called as well.
Year 11 for you. Your off seasons have become legendary. We've seen a window into some of the work you put in. What was the priority this off season as you built for this year?
Yeah, the priority is always get better than the year before, and keep working, keeping your foot on the pedal. People always ask me, like, if I change anything or do anything different. I was like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So keep doing the same thing and having that growth mindset and want to be better than the year before.
How do you feel going into year 11 at a position that obviously takes a toll on the body?
Let's go 11 more.
I love it. Hey, Derrick, thanks for the time, man. Good luck this year.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I love that answer at the back end of that interview. How about that?
Well, I mean, the money he spends on his body in the offseason, can he go 22 years? If anybody could, it would be Derrick Henry.
I love it. Catching you up for the audio listeners on what happened on this drive. Zion Young with a run stuff on 1st and 10. Made a nice play to stop the Vikings run game. And then Silas Walters comes downhill, and now so does the entire defense. It's Keandre Jackson with the sack, and it's 4th down for the Vikings.
Yeah, that's the time they brought some pressure. Carson Wentz did not see it coming. It's a good rotation. You just got to get big Carson Wentz to the ground.
That's a combined sack. Couple guys in there. Aaron Graves as well. Good job by the Ravens defense. That was the 11th play of the drive, but really not a ton of production. A couple first downs, but they had to work for it. And after a couple of 3rd down conversions, they did not convert on that one. Punt is away. It's Brett Thorson on the kick. Waving for the fair catch is LaJohntay Wester. This defense flying downhill, playing like a Raven, Rod Woodson.
Yeah, you saw that great pre-snap disguise coming downhill and making that sack from Carson Wentz.
The Baltimore Ravens 2026 annual community signature project took place back in June at Baltimore's iconic Patterson Park in partnership with the Heart of America Foundation. Over 200 staff members, coaches, cheerleaders, and players volunteered to renovate recreation buildings, paint murals, complete outdoor landscaping, and all-encompassing park beautification as a part of Patterson Park. Incredible stuff from the Ravens organization. New quarterback in for Baltimore. 3-0 Ravens on top. Latter portions now of the second quarter. It's Joe Fagnano, who turned some heads last week in his professional debut. 22 of 28 passing, a touchdown and an interception in the game. But he also put up a league-high 224 passing yards in NFL preseason action week 1. He'll get his first opportunity from the 14-yard line. He turns and gives to Tao Tolliver, who was shaken up on the last drive, back in to begin this opportunity. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, not much more.
Oh, I'm a little surprised that Doyle's not going in a hurry-up mentality for this 2-minute situation, trying to move the ball down the field to give Joe an opportunity to show another 2-minute situation for this offense.
And 2nd down and 9. They run the football. 2:20 and counting left in the second quarter. From deep in Vikings territory, looks left, it's bobbled and dropped by Wester. He may have had some yards after catch on that one. There was a little bit of coverage as Dominic Orange dropped back into coverage, but still, that should have been a ball caught by Lejante.
That's a catchable ball. Yes, you have a hand in your face, but as a receiver, the ABCs of catching the football, look it in first, turn your head, and move up the field after.
3rd down and 9. Clock stopped at 2:11 left. Ravens so far 1 for 5 on the money down. Todd Tolliver's the running back. Fignano looks left, has time. No, he doesn't. He has to pick it up and run. And he does shake out of a tackle and may have had the first down. It is right at the line. Either way, it'll take us to the 2-minute warning. We'll give you the results. They'll measure this possible first down for the Ravens late in the second. Two-minute warning here in the second quarter. The Ravens on top of the Vikings 3-0, and the defense has been the storyline yet again, Rod Woodson.
They have played outstanding football, making it very hard on J.J. McCarthy, making it hard on the running game. They've done a tremendous job against the run and the pass. They had one big play, and that was it. Outside of that, getting pressure consistently on J.J. or whoever the quarterback was out there. Green did a tremendous job. He is getting better week in and week out. Second year, everybody's very excited to see what he's going to bring to the table. But, man, this consistent pressure across the board. Rivers right there getting his hands in and making a great play down the field. And Mr. Jackson bringing down Carson Wentz.
DeAndre Jackson very active throughout this first half. Has had a couple of plays in the secondary. He had the sack there on Carson Wentz. They did measure it following the 2-minute warning, and it was just half a yard shy. Fignano on the scramble did everything he could to find the line to gain. Instead, it is 4th down and inches, and Eckley on to punt it from his own 9-yard line. Back to receive is Trayvon Rudolph. Unfortunate from the Ravens offensive side of things, as they thought they may have had a first down going into the 2-minute warning. Another booming punt. Eckley's been just tremendous through the first parts of this game, and back goes the aforementioned return man in Rudolph, and he gets nothing. Goes backwards on the return, and there's a late penalty marker. Our referee today, Adrian Hill, has been busy through the first half on both sides.
Yeah, that came from the line judge. I'm curious of.
During the return, personal foul, blindside block, receiving team number 56. That's half the distance to the goal line. First down, timeout.
So not a great return, and an even worse result for the Vikings. They'll back things up. 1:48 to play in the first half. Downtown Minneapolis, beautiful city. It's been a great week for the Baltimore Ravens up in Minnesota. Joint practices with the Vikings on Wednesday and Thursday, and now the Ravens faithful getting to converge on U.S. Bank Stadium. I call this the other bank, clad in purple. It's not as cool as M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, but a beautiful stadium nonetheless, and it's 3-0 Ravens with 1:48 to play in the second quarter. A 60-yard punt from Ryan Eckley, followed by a penalty, have the Vikings inside their own 10-yard line to begin this drive. Eckley averaging 54.5 yards per punt in his 4 kicks so far in this first half. It's Damon Claiborne again on the carry, and he sneaks up about 2 yards before Ethan Burke is in on the stop. Been really impressed with the special teams unit by Baltimore today. We've talked a lot about the defense, but talk about coverage, the punting. Tyler Loop had a 49-yard field goal. Check the box for Anthony Levine in his second game as the special teams coordinator this season.
Yeah, they've done it. He's done a tremendous job, and I'm so surprised that they're not going a 2-minute situation with Carson Wentz, who's a veteran quarterback.
You want to see somebody go into a 2-minute.
I just like to speed the game up.
Rod's saying, give me something to talk about. Here goes Wentz, right side, and there is nobody there. Maybe a miscommunication between him and Fleming on the right side of the formation. There was coverage from TJ Tampa. There's the specialist. Let's give those guys some shine. Nick Moore in the middle. a long snapper. You got Ryan Eckley, the rookie out of Michigan State, on the left side. He was one of the best punters in the nation last year. And then on the right, Tyler Loop, the second-year man out of Arizona.
Yeah, you're gonna need those guys.
Oh yeah. And Loop, the only reason the Ravens are on the board at the moment, or at least in terms of scoring today, with the 3 points on the board. Wentz, Carson Wentz, left side. He does have a completion past the marker. This time the communication just fine between him and Dante Fleming as he catches this underneath Robert Longerby.
Well, maybe they'll go in a little 2-minute here.
Now hurry up offense, back to the line of scrimmage. 1st and 10 from the 20. Wentz, pump fakes, deep shot, deep downfield, lots of contact, and a jump ball reeled in by Jayshon Jones, another former Maryland Terrapin making a play against the Ravens.
Walters right. I thought he was going to get the pick, and he turned around too late. Kind of got tripped up by the other receiver DB in Jackson.
I think if Walters doesn't get tripped up by a shoelace there, it may have been either a PBU or close to an interception.
You thought he was going to get the pick, and at the last second his foot got hit, knocked him down.
Here's another look at it from a different angle. Yeah, he tripped over himself. That's a tough one.
Yeah, that means 2 guys in position. That's something that's going to be a teaching tape for the secondary coach, Mr. Meekins.
Play by the receiver too, Jayshon Jones, undrafted out of Maryland in 2024, has been back and forth with the practice squad. Now with 38 seconds left, he has the Vikings in Ravens territory at the 44-yard line. Empty backfield, Wentz left side, complete to the tight end. Blockers out in front on the tight end screen, inside the 30 and pushed out of bounds by Keandre Jackson. And it's Gavin Bartholomew with the reception, his first one of the day, and it puts the Vikings on the Ravens 29-yard line, closing in on not just field goal territory, but a possible chance to take a shot with 31 seconds left here in the half.
I mean, that was a really good play call. That little slip screen by the tight end caught everybody off guard.
Johnson a little shaken up on the play for Baltimore as he'll walk to the sideline. This is outside of an early drive for Minnesota in that first quarter where they got all the way down to the goal line, and then a 4th down stand from Baltimore kept them off the board. This is the best drive that the Vikings have put together here in this one.
Yeah, a couple big plays have gone the Minnesota Vikings' way offensively, throwing the ball down the field. But another good opportunity for this defense to rise up and still make a play.
Anthony Weaver said he wanted this defense to finish. Here's a chance to finish the half on a high note with a stop. Wentz, play action, all sorts of time, late pressure as he gets it to the right side, complete to Dylan Bell. He is chopped down by Chandler Rivers, inbounds as the clock continues to run.
Call timeout. And
there's the timeout by the Vikings. It was a bit of a fire drill afterwards, trying to get back to the line. Everybody thought he got out of bounds. But the clock stops with the timeout, 23 seconds left.
And that's a really good tackle by Rivers, going to the flat, not giving the receiver a bunch of extra yardage. But that's something that the defensive back they work on week in and week out, of making those tackles in open space, especially toward the sideline, keeping your inside-out position. I mean, he's inside out. Now he's just going low to the outside leg. Didn't let him, the leg hit the ground first. That's why they were moving the clock still.
Rookie out of Duke, 5th round pick. Really impressed with Rivers through the draft process. And Eric DeCosta said they were really happy that he was on the board on day 3, available for them to make some plays, and he's stepped up a couple times today. 2nd down and 8. Pressure again. Wentz will go down. Multiple players in the backfield, but it was Rayshon Benny that finished the job. A sack, and the clock runs inside 10 seconds left. Minnesota will be forced to use their final timeout. That was all set up on the rush. Off the right side by Kamon Rucker. He was great in practice this week. The pressure there initially, and then Benny wraps up Carson Wentz and brings him to the turf. Timeout called with 4 seconds left as Minnesota looks to tie things up with the field goal.
Yeah, really good rush by both of those gentlemen, Ruckers and Penny, out there making a good play when a play has to be made for this defense.
This should be right at a 50, maybe 51-yard field goal. Definitely a tougher try after the sack than it would have been previously. To see if the Ravens can pitch their second first-half shutout in a row to begin the preseason. They held Philadelphia scoreless in last week's preseason opener, and now the Ravens will call a timeout. You got 3 of them. You can't take them with you. You might as well try it if you're Jesse Minter.
Yeah, trying to freeze that kicker. Really, it's a good exercise for the coaches, too, to be in a situation where they use their timeouts, how they're going to use them, when they're going to use them, going into this 2-minute situation.
Will Reichert is the kicker for the Vikings. He was a first-team All-Pro last year. And his 3rd year out of Alabama, was drafted in 2024, back in the 6th round. He only missed twice all of last season. He was 33 for 35. But both of those misses came from beyond 50 yards. And this is a 52-yard attempt off the right hash mark. Straight into the scoreboard here at US Bank Stadium to tie the game at the end of the first half. Kick is away. It is right, but it is inside the upright and at plenty of distance. We are tied at 3 after 2 in Minnesota.
First half was great defensively. They played outstanding. It was really valuable for the offense to see a defense like Brian Flores', so that's something they can work on throughout the week.
A defensive battle, all knotted up at 3 apiece through 2 quarters of play at US Bank Stadium. Stick around, plenty more to come as Baltimore and Minnesota battle in the land of 10,000 lakes. Very much so in favor of the Vikings. 150-63, 183-93. The Vikings lead in the total yardage category. Only 1 conversion on 3rd down for the Ravens offensively, but the Vikings haven't been much better at 3 for 8 total. And then the time of possession in favor of the Vikings. The Ravens defense, though, Rod, we started the day talking about them. They come up with 3 sacks and hold the Vikings to 3 points in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, they did a tremendous job. They gave up 3 big plays, and one was a screen. We had a defender in one spot. He fell down on his own. So they're moving in the right direction. They're trending in the right direction, and players are making plays, and especially when you can play a defense against a young or older Carson Wentz and make some plays on him. Outstanding job.
There's a look at one of the 10,000 lakes out there, all tied up at 3 each. Halftime in Minnesota. Just about set for the start of the 3rd quarter. It is 3-3 at halftime. Moments ago, Evan Washburn caught up with Jesse Minter.
Well, Coach, points at a premium in that first half, but defensively, what allowed your pass rush to be so effective?
Yeah, I thought the guys up front just did a really nice job. We won some one-on-one rushes. We worked a couple games. Coverage is pretty well. I'd like us to attack the ball and some of the downfield throws a little bit more, but all in all, man, it's 3-3. Let's go play a second half.
For this offense that's going to start this second half, what do they need to do to generate some points?
Just cut it loose, man. Cut it loose. Stop worrying about what they're doing, how they're lining up. Like, cut it loose, come off the ball, be the aggressors, and play football for 30 minutes.
Jesse, thanks.
Thank you.
I like what he said there. Cut it loose a little bit, Rod, and because there's just 3 points on the board for Baltimore, is that what you expect going into the 3rd quarter?
Yeah, you want your players to go play loose, and he wants the guys to rise to the occasion week in and week out, having the opportunity to step on the field and make plays for themselves to show that they belong on the roster.
And then you look at the pressure that the defense has gotten so far throughout. I mean, who's under pressure going into the second half?
I mean, I love what the secondary is doing and helping with the pass rush. I love what the pass rush is doing and helping the secondary. It all works hand in hand, and they're all playing on all three levels, the defensive line, linebackers, and the secondary, playing at a high level, and hopefully that can continue in the second half.
Austin Reed set to possibly come in to begin the opening play, or the opening drive, I should say, into the third quarter. They have fake snow falling from the roof here at US Bank Stadium. A beautiful sight, a beautiful day. Even the doors open in the end zone for this Week 2 preseason matchup between the Vikings and the Ravens. There's a look at the snow.
That is some great looking snow.
You would know.
Can you go skiing on it?
I doubt that, as the skull chant now reigns through.
Ice fishing? How about ice fishing? We're out here.
I'm sure there's plenty of that up here. Maybe not this time of year. Crowd's still into it, and it's getting loud in the building on third downs, and it's certainly loud as we go into the third quarter. All tied at 3. Ravens did not win the toss, but it was the Vikings that elected to receive. So the Ravens get the football to begin the third quarter. And a chance for that offense to cut it loose, like Jesse Minter was just saying to Evan Washburn down on the sideline. LeJontay Wester and Chris Moore are back to return this opening kickoff from Will Reichert to begin the third quarter. Even if it's just a preseason game, Rod, I am impressed with US Bank Stadium. It's a great atmosphere.
It is a gorgeous looking stadium. Their practice facility.
That was really impressive too.
Is impressive.
The Ravens super thankful to the Minnesota Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell for their hospitality throughout the week. Both teams getting in a lot of good work as the preseason is fully underway, and we are underway in the third quarter. It'll be LeJontay Wester moving forward at the 5-yard line, up to the 20 already, 25, lane to the right, and he runs into the one guy between him and open green grass. It looked like Wester may have had a whole lot more as Joe Fignano works out rather, from the sideline to open this third quarter at quarterback.
Yeah, we know last week he looked really good. Let's see what he looks like today, but he is a composed quarterback coming into his rookie year. Did a great job last week of finding the open receivers and delivering the football.
Rarely had a chance to throw the football in his one drive in that second quarter after replacing Tyler Huntley, who played the majority of the first half. Play action, bootlegs right, nobody open. He turns upfield and picks up a couple of yards on the opening play from scrimmage.
Yeah, they only ran one bootleg early in the game, about mid-quarter of the second quarter of the first half. Coming out early with the bootleg, give some misdirection to Mr. Flores, the defense coordinator for Minnesota Vikings, let him know that we are going to give you some different looks in the second half than we did the first half.
Fignano 0 for 1 passing so far. He had just 6 incompletions last week in his pro debut against the Eagles. Out of the shotgun, 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Pump fakes with pressure closing in around, and he completes it on a short in route to LeJontay Wester. Jacob Roberts quickly in on the stop for Minnesota.
Yeah, the one thing I really like about Joe is that his progressions through his reads are faster than normal from a rookie quarterback.
He was able to progress that time. If he took any longer, it may have been a sack. Something of note, by the way, Ethan Posick is at center to begin this third quarter. Of course, he is in a battle with Jovan Gwynn for the possible starting center job after Danny Pinter went down to injury earlier this week. Fignano on 3rd down and 6. Looks left, completes it to Tez Walker. Chaz Chambliss running downhill did not allow Walker to get out of the tackle, and it brings up 4th down.
Yeah, as soon as Walker touched that football, Chambliss came in and didn't let him get another inch.
About 2 yards shy of the marker thanks to forward progress, but Chambliss with a solid open field tackle, bringing on Ryan Eckley, who has just been great so far today, averaging over 54 yards per punt. His last one was 60 yards downfield. Rookie out of Michigan State puts another leg into this one. Backing up the return man inside the 5-yard line. I think the Ravens may be onto something with this rookie punter. Bad starting field position for Minnesota. In case you missed it in the pregame this week, the Baltimore community lost a cherished member of the Ravens family, linebacker O.J. Brigance, and his battle with ALS came to an end on Monday. The Ravens organization, along with the entire NFL, continue to mourn his loss. He was such a light in the community and inspiration to countless others. And Rod, he was a teammate of yours and somebody that it will be missed dearly among the Ravens organization, and even the decal under display for the first time today on the lapels of all of the coaches as well, and they'll do so for the remainder of the season.
Yeah, just heartbroken that OJ, who we played with, and we saw the deterioration from the ALS, but a great human being, and we mourn for his family and his loved ones, and we'll remember him forever.
Of course, the NFL has made another recommitment to the fight against ALS this year. The news that former Tennessee Titans running back Chris Johnson is dealing with ALS, and certainly our prayers are with him and with everybody that has been affected by that disease, including the family of O.J. Brigance. Inside the 5-yard line after a booming kick from Ryan Eckley, the first give is to Xavier Scott. The fourth-year man out of Maine picks up close to first down yardage, about 10 yards downfield. There's Kayvon Wallace on the stop. New quarterback in, by the way, for the Vikings. Max Brosmer on for the first time. Brosmer, the 6'2", 218-pound second-year man out of Minnesota. Played plenty of time with P.J. Fleck, who was at practice, by the way, this week in the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Play action. Brosmer looking to his right on the bootleg. He'll take off, run, and he's got first down yardage past the 15-yard line, out at the 12. Or excuse me, out at the 17 rather.
So you want to see the outside contain, not let the quarterback get outside the pocket. The secondary did its part by not allowing any open receivers down the field. You want to keep adding to what they were doing in the first half outside of those couple big plays that they had.
A couple of first downs here and there, but outside of the one drive that ended in a goal line stand and then the field goal drive for Minnesota, the defense was pretty stout, just as they were a week ago. And another chance here, getting in the backfield initially is Aeneas Peebles. Can't make the stop, but it forces Scott to scamper to the right-hand side and get out of bounds. Longer beam pushes him to the white line.
Yeah, Mr. Peebles, he wanted a holding call. He said he got pulled down. He would have made the play in the backfield. But an outstanding job by him making the running back go arc his run and then not allow the inside defenders to get outside to make the play on the sideline.
290 pounds out of Virginia Tech. Three-man front. Ethan Burke, the edge rusher, off the line of scrimmage. Brosmer pressured. He'll be sacked again. Fourth sack of the day for the Ravens defense. This time it's Olajiga.
Oh, he just went vertical. Didn't get blocked. He said, oh, that's easy. Thank you.
Chandler Rivers is going to raise his hand and say, I deserve a half a sack there. He had pressure on the late blitz outside, too.
It was late, but I'm gonna try to get a half a sack, too. If I'm a defender coming in, I'm putting my hand up like I was there.
Absolutely. And he definitely had a factor. There was no escape route there for Brosmer. And this one's batted down at the line of scrimmage by Ethan Burke.
Burke, that is a really, he could have, when he looks back at it, he's going to go, man, if I don't put both my hands up, I could have got a pick.
It might have been a pick six. He had nothing but green grass in front of him. He was dropping back into coverage, which he did at times at Texas, and he just got one hand on it.
Oh, he got his inside hand on it. That's why it was hard to catch. I mean, But that's a really good play by him, seeing the ball come out when he was going to the flat.
The tall body out of the University of Texas. Burke listed at 6'6", 265. Got a couple pressures in the first half, too. 4th down and 17. Punt team is on after 1 first down for the Vikings. This is a booming punt in its own right. All the way back to the 25-yard line. Wester on the return. Shakes out a 1 tackle past the 35, and he's tripped up at the 37-yard line. Still tied at 3. Ravens and Vikings, 3rd quarter.
Broadcast is copyrighted by NFL Productions for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this broadcast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of NFL Productions is prohibited.
Each sack that the Ravens make during the 2026 season, Constellation, America's leading producer of clean and reliable energy, will send one group of students to visit the Maryland Science Center. To learn more, visit BaltimoreRavens.com/sacks for science. There's been 4 of them already today. This defense getting after it.
Yeah, Mike Green right here coming off that right side, just getting back in the backside of that. Mr. Jackson getting on that, one of the defensive backs. Olajiga, he just doesn't get blocked. He's like, thank you. I appreciate you.
4 sacks, 4 different players, and even Ethan Burke, who batted down a pass as well, is now singing in the building. As this defense has been certainly doing their job to this point. Special teams unit as well, for that matter. Ravens trying to get that offense back on the same page. Vignano at quarterback. They turn and they give. It's Jonathan Ward on the opening carry. And Ward gets up to the 40-yard line. Pick up a 4 on first down.
And that's what they need. They need on first down to be in front of the chains. So take the pressure off the quarterbacks. They can still have a run, play pass off of it. But when you're not getting 3.5 yards in that first down, that puts more pressure on the quarterback to do something with it on second.
Ward, of course, added earlier in the week. 6 foot, 200 pounds out of Central Michigan. He's to the right out of the shotgun with Vignano. This one also batted down at the line of scrimmage. Vignano was looking left and could not get it past the Ravens defensive line. It was Richter on the stop.
And normally when the defensive end is, and it's a 3-step drop, the defensive end or the offensive tackle needs to cut the defensive end to get his hands down.
There's pretty good coverage on the back end as we took a look at it in-house.
Well, I don't know if that would have been
it might not have been a completion. They might be happy that got knocked down to the ground. 3rd down and 7 for Vignano and the Ravens offense. Back to throw again over the middle. Ajante Wester held on to the football, but he takes a hit from Jacob Thomas. The JMU product came flying over the middle. Kudos to Wester for holding on.
Yeah, that is a great concentration by Wester, because he gets hit as soon as he touches the ball.
And they actually called a penalty here on the Vikings. That's going to be first down. They're going to call roughing the passer, I believe. Oh, excuse me. It was an illegal hands to the face away from the ball. We got the call from Adrian Hill as we were taking a look at that replay, but the Ravens catch a break on what would have been 4th down.
Yeah, I'm excited that Wester caught the ball, and then the penalty comes in and gives them the first down.
Caught the ball, but it was about 2 yards shy of the marker, but the first down and the personal foul put the Ravens in Vikings territory for the first time in the second half from the 40-yard line. McMillan, the tailback, they toss it to him left side. Nowhere to go this time either. That defensive line been active. That was Taki Tamani, second-year man out of Oregon.
Yeah, somewhere along the line, Doyle has to make Flores pay for getting tight coverage, bringing a lot of pressure, a lot of mug looks inside with the linebackers, dropping some of those defensive tackles out in coverage. And when they show that, they're going to have that one-on-one coverage on the outside.
Vignano, McMillan in the backfield. Guillory, Hibner, Cuevas, Walker as the receivers and tight ends in the formation. Vignano with time, looks left, nearly intercepted. It was Thomas again who got a hand on it. He was looking for Tez Walker, but a bit underthrown. Third down incoming again.
Yeah, he made the wrong read. The read should have been to the right side because Guillory was wide open on the dig route coming inside at the second level.
3rd and 11 from the Vikings 40-yard line. Ravens so far today, not a ton of success, just one conversion on 3rd down. 1 for 8 in the ball game. 2 receivers, both Wester and Guillory to the right side. Walker to the left. Vignano, good pocket, steps up, throws, completes it to Tez Walker, who breaks a tackle, and he's inside the 15, tripped up from behind. Biggest pass play so far for Joe Vignano, finds Tez Walker and keeps the drive alive.
Really good throw, right on the inside of the first hash, excuse me. And Tez Walker, great catch with his hands. Big physical receiver, breaks the first tackle, and almost gets into the end zone.
Into the red zone for the Ravens. First trip to the red zone today for Baltimore. Under center, offset man in the formation with Ward in the backfield and movement up front. Emory Jones Jr. jumped early.
False start, 51, offense, 5-yard.
Now some teaching tape. He's a little excited. It was a run call. He was trying to get out and pull.
You have Lucas Scott behind him as the up back in the I formation. Probably knew he had to get up there a little bit and get going.
Yeah.
And instead he moved early. Vikings fans trying to get into it again. First time in the red zone for the Ravens today. 1st and 15 from just inside the 20. Vignano looks right in a tight window. Completes it to Josh Cuevas. Quick pitch and catch to get that penalty yardage back.
Yeah, again, just a setting, like his set route for Cuevas. Cuevas just does a good job of ABCs of catches the ball first and then turns it up the field.
Cuevas has been steady so far today as a receiving target. One of the leading receivers for the Ravens in the ball game. 2nd down and 9. He remains in the formation to the right side. Vignano with all sorts of time over the middle to an in-breaking LeJonte Wester. He's inside the 10-yard line. Turns up to the 8 before Jacob Roberts pulls him to the ground.
Really good read by Fanango. He did a tremendous job of just finding. He went from the right side to the left side, sees Wester running that little shallow in route, gets the ball to him, and let him try to make a play in the middle of the field.
3-3 with 6:10 remaining in the 3rd. It is 3rd down and 5 from the Vikings 8-yard line. Vignano at the line of scrimmage with 4 on the play clock with a quick check at the line. Just barely got it off in time. Now he looks left, has an open man. It's LeJonte Wester who catches and walks into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown.
Yeah, that's just blown coverage by Brian Flores' defense. Wester's the outside guy, just runs a little outside route. Nobody covers him going to the flat. That's going to be the easiest touchdown he's ever had in his life.
Looked like the linebacker tried to get out there, but good luck on an out-breaking route from LeJonte Wester to keep up if you're already on the inside part of the formation. Wester with his first touchdown grab of the preseason, capping off a 9-play, 63-yard drive. It took 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Joe Vignano back at it again. A touchdown drive led by the rookie out of UConn has the Ravens up 10-3 on the Vikings midway through the 3rd quarter in Minneapolis.
Outstanding throw and catch.
Ready?
Baltimore with their first touchdown of the day, and it came on a 9-play drive led by Joe Vignano and a couple of 3rd down conversions. How about 3 for 3 on 3rd down, including a touchdown grab by LeJonte Wester. Worked wide open and into the end zone. You love to see that from a play call standpoint, because with his speed and that type of layering on an offensive side, that's tough to cover.
Yeah, when you have a reduced split like that, the defenders are always saying is one plan is one. He just ran a little speed out. It wasn't a real complicated route.
On the kickoff from Tyler Loop, another early grab and an early takedown by the Ravens as Trayvon Rudolph was on the return. Special teams has been at the forefront of this one. When you need the offense to find a rhythm, you need your defense and your specialists to step up. And so far, Eckley's had a phenomenal day. You've had Tyler Loop knock through a field goal. What has been your takeaway from the special teams unit today?
Well, right now, Eckley is playing, he's punting the ball extremely well, but he's a Big Tenner. Would you expect anything else coming from the Big Ten?
You love your Big Ten guys. Are they the best conference in college football?
Oh, how many championships in a row?
3 straight.
Here we go.
And this one's bobbled and dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Jamar Jefferson can't hold on. There is a penalty marker down. 5:46 left in the third. 10-3 Ravens on top of the Vikings. Both teams have had their fair share of penalty markers in this one.
Look at man downfield. Number 62. 5 yards. Repeat first.
That is the 8th penalty of the day for 68 yards on the Minnesota side. 4 for 40 on the Baltimore side. Not too terrible on the Ravens end. It's part of why they lead it by 7 on the road. Dominic DeLuca looking on. He's one of the contributors here in this matchup. 1st and 15 Vikings from their own 21-yard line now. Again, it's Brosmer at quarterback. The Minnesota Golden Gopher looks right side. That one's complete into the hands again of wide receiver Jay Sean Jones as we go down to Evan Washburn on the sideline.
Here with Mr. Ronnie Stanley. Ronnie, appreciate the time. You got your kind of coach's hat on for this game. What'd you like about that scoring drive?
Oh, it was great. You know, I thought it was great blocking, great execution by the offense. They had a little adversity at the beginning, but you know, they were able to finish strong in a tough position. So it shows our resilience.
When you look at your position group that you're leading going into this season, how's it coming together? Obviously still some question marks at center, but you have a lot of talent in front of Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I think it's coming together really well. I think this was a great week to learn from, going against another tough opponent. You know, they have a lot of great blitzes, a lot of good things that we can watch the film and get better at. And we're coming together, you know, learning a good new offense. I think it's been great for us, you know, this time here spent together in Minnesota, and I think we're building something really special.
Where does this new offense that Declan Doyle is going to run challenge you most?
I think it's just the amount of details. You know, I think that we're trying to attack, you know, the defense in every single way possible, and in order to do that, you need to be detail oriented, and there's going to be a lot of different things you need to remember in order to do that. And I think that's really challenged me and everyone on our offense, you know, to really be at our best all the time.
At this point in your career, what are you prioritizing in the offseason to get yourself primed and ready for a season?
Well, definitely staying strong. You know, you definitely want to stay strong, but you also want to stay mobile. I think that's something that is very important. Mobility and strong core. I think working on your VO2 max, and also make sure you have your the mental side of the game, mental side of things right. You know, you want to spend time with your family and loved ones. You don't get to see them that often, so I think it's important to make sure you spend time with the people that really appreciate you and show gratitude towards them as well.
I remember when they drafted you, working that draft party. It's crazy to me that you're going into year 11. Does it change the sense of urgency for what you want to accomplish to a part of this team?
Definitely does. You know, there's a time clock on everyone's career, and not every day is promised. You know, we just lost our center, you know, in a practice, and you know, that's someone we expected to have the whole season. And praying for him for a speedy recovery. You know, hopefully he can be back for us. But yeah, not every day is promised. I'm very fortunate and blessed to make it to my 11th year. And, I'm very, you know, impatient towards, you know, my goals and the things I want to get done. So there's definitely a time.